£827 million. That is how much one man hid inside a single spreadsheet cell, and how much it cost to erase a bank that had survived Napoleon, 2 world wars, and the Great Depression. This is the autopsy of Barings Bank. We begin, as these stories always do, not with greed exactly, but with pressure. Nick Leeson arrived in Singapore in 1992 as a settlement clerk turned trader, young, ambitious, and desperately eager to prove he belonged in a world that had once rejected his application to join the Bank of England. Barings gave him something dangerous: authority over both sides of the trade. He could execute deals, and he could record them. In the financial world, those two functions are supposed to be separated by law, by culture, and by common sense. Barings handed them both to the same 25-year-old and flew home to London. The machine that would kill the bank was already running. It started small, the way disasters always do. In July 1992, a junior trader on Leeson's desk made a mistake, sold contracts she should have bought, or bought when she should have sold. The loss was minor, £60,000. Leeson covered it by routing the money into an error account number 88,888, which he had originally set up months earlier for a separate administrative purpose. The account sat invisible, unreported to London. He told himself he would fix it. He did not fix it. Instead, he began trading out of it. Here is the mechanism, explained plainly. Leeson's legitimate job was arbitrage, buying futures contracts on the Nikkei 225, Japan's main stock index, on the Singapore exchange, and simultaneously selling equivalent contracts in Osaka where the price was marginally different. The gap between those two prices, captured thousands of times, was supposed to be the profit. Risk-free in theory. Small margins, enormous volume, almost no exposure. That was the plan on paper. What was actually happening inside account 88,888 was the opposite. Leeson was making large, naked directional bets, meaning he was simply gambling that the Japanese stock market would go up. When it went up, the account recovered. When it went down, the hole deepened. And he kept going because stopping meant confessing. Every month, London asked for the performance figures. Every month, Leeson sent back numbers that showed account 88,888 did not exist. He also requested funding from London to meet margin calls, the cash exchanges require when your position moves against you, by inventing explanations. He said the money was owed to clients. London sent it. By the end of 1994, the hidden losses inside 88,888 had reached approximately £200 million. Leeson was not a rogue in the Hollywood sense. He was not siphoning money into private accounts, not buying cars or artwork. The money went straight to the market. He was trying to trade his way back to zero, and he could not stop. Then January 17, 1995. At 5:46 in the morning, a magnitude 6.9 earthquake struck Kobe, Japan. The Nikkei fell. It fell hard and it kept falling. Leeson had been running a strategy that paid out only if the market stayed relatively calm. It was called a short straddle, meaning he had sold both put options and call options on the index, collecting premiums upfront but facing catastrophic losses if prices moved sharply in either direction. Kobe moved them sharply. In the days following the earthquake, Leeson made what investigators would later call his most audacious move. Instead of closing his positions and revealing the damage, he doubled down. He bought Nikkei futures aggressively, trying to prop the market up through sheer volume. It did not work. No single trader can hold up an index. The market kept falling. By mid-February 1995, The losses inside account 88,888 had reached the equivalent of roughly £827 million, more than twice the entire capital of the bank. Barings could not absorb it. On February 23, 1995, Leeson left a note on his desk. It said simply, "I'm sorry." He and his wife flew to Malaysia, then Germany. On February 26, 1995, Barings Bank, founded in 1762, banker to the British royal family, the institution that had helped finance the Louisiana Purchase, was declared insolvent. It was sold to the Dutch bank ING for a single pound sterling. £1 to take on $827 million in losses. The employees who showed up to work that Monday found their key cards still worked. Their jobs did not. Approximately 1,200 people lost their positions. Pension funds tied to the bank took losses. Clients scrambled. Regulatory bodies in Britain and Singapore launched simultaneous investigations. What they found was not a sophisticated conspiracy. It was a spreadsheet and a supervisor who never asked the right question. Leeson was arrested at Frankfurt Airport on March 2, 1995. He was extradited to Singapore, where the offenses had taken place. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of deceiving the bank's auditors and cheating. In December 1995, he was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. He served roughly 4 years, released early after a diagnosis of colon cancer. He survived the cancer. Barings did not survive him. The forensic lesson here is not really about one rogue trader. Regulators, academics, and risk managers have spent 30 years performing the same autopsy, and they always find the same thing inside. Leeson had no one checking his work. He controlled both the execution and the record-keeping. His managers in London celebrated his reported profits without verifying the mechanism that produced them. When he asked for cash to cover margin calls, they sent it without independent confirmation. The controls that should have caught the fraud at £60,000, the original junior trader error, simply did not exist. He found the gap, and he fell through it for 3 years. This is how money dies. Not usually in a single catastrophic act of theft, but in a sequence of small failures, a missing oversight here, an unverified number there, a manager who did not ask the question that felt rude to ask because the profits looked so good. £827 million disappeared inside a cell on a spreadsheet that no one in London was authorized to open. The bank that survived 233 years could not survive one unchecked account. The number at the end of the autopsy is always the same: the cost of not looking.